elect a chairman for the subcommittee for the rest of this term. Would anybody like to?
Yes, I propose Councillor Stubbs, Chairman.
I'd second that.
Do you want to sit here? Or do you want to sit there?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's the Planning Subcommittee on Tuesday the 10th of February. Second item on the agenda, no apologies because we're all here. Declarations of interest? No? Thank you. Minutes. Everybody read the minutes? Considered to be a true record. In which case can I have
I propose approval.
a second? Thank you. All in favour?
Sorry, who seconded it?
Alan.
In my absence, I'll
Yeah, you
abstain.
were.
That's okay.
Yeah, as I say.
Right, item 5, deputations by the
Can we use sign first?
Oh, sign, I always forget that.
Just that one. Just need to sign here. Thank you.
Right, deputations of the public.
Just to add that two members of the public here are not on this committee. Okay, thank you.
I'm just really sorry.
That's okay.
Right, we come on to item 6, plan applications. First application is the Marston's Inns and Taverns. You'll notice that this one's got MAG, which is major at the end of it, and I did speak to the case officer, and apparently it shouldn't be major, it should be a full application, but that's what it is. I've never come up against that before, but that's what it means if it's a huge application. So there we are. Having all had the opportunity to look at the applications online, did you manage to?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Anybody like to sort of start making any comments about this?
Bring up the ground floor, I just want to see. So.
Right.
Do we have the letter from the agent with the changes that they're asking for?
Which page you want?
I don't think it's there, it's a separate document. The actual changes are changes to conditions 10, 11 and 16, and those are really...
Well, I've got something here, which 10 is the provision of lighting appears to be acceptable. I've actually copied this off of Langham's. Got this report. Condition number 11. Some way marking would be preferable in order to avoid confusion, particularly with regards to patrons who are unfamiliar with the pub restaurant layout. They recommended way marking. Basically, everything's been approved on here. Number 16, parking has been relocated further from the trees at the west boundary. This is acceptable, and it appears that protection is no longer necessary.
Chairman, if I may, I'm not sure how far we can proceed without seeing what the proposed changes are, which is the point of the variation of the conditions. I do have a quite lengthy comment on the change to condition 10.
I can bring them up, you just hang on a second.
Yeah,
Um,
it's none of those.
Alright, okay, just hold on a second.
Chairman, should I speak while I'm
Yeah,
finding
you can.
The variation to condition 10 seeks to remove the need for external CCTV. And they claim they don't need to have CCTV because they don't need to have an alcohol licence, and that is fundamentally incorrect. Given that it's way beyond the CCTV in Oakham, but adjacent to what will be residential properties, and with a very quick access away without going by any cameras on the bypass, I think it should have external CCTV. And I do have something prepared that I'd like to say
Yes.
when we get there.
Okay.
Right, which one is it on, Alan? The design statement, the access statement, application form?
It's probably under external lighting and site services.
No.
That one we had, I think I brought that one on.
You can try the design access, but I thought it was a different one.
I couldn't find
That's
it.
it.
That's the one.
Oh yeah, that's it, yes.
If that's the most recent one.
Well, that's the one that's been sent out with the application.
Yeah.
Does it go down to condition 10?
Vision check.
Yeah. So the conditions, masters do not now intend to add CCTV because the police authority didn't apply for that at the alcohol licence hearing. There actually wasn't a hearing. It says that the licence takes the lead over planning in such matters, and that is totally incorrect. And I can give you an example of that, Chairman. That if a pub has an alcohol licence till 4 AM, but only has planning permission to stay up until midnight, it must close at midnight. So planning and licensing are two completely different things. So I think they're trying to get away there from the expense of putting in CCTV, although I personally think they should have external CCTV, as there is no other security in that area.
Have you written down a wording for a reply?
I have, it's quite lengthy, I'm happy to read it out.
Right.
But I have submitted a copy in case members were minded to agree with me.
Do you want the hard copy?
Yes, given my failing eyesight with age, perhaps a hard copy would be easier. I can read it off the phone, but a hard copy would be easier.
Why didn't the licence hearing take place?
Because no one asked for one.
Really?
So, removal of CCTV element of condition 10. The applicant's agent incorrectly asserts that licensing takes the lead over such matters. This is technically incorrect, as licensing and planning are required by law to be two discrete services and commonly have differing conditions. An obvious example is where a drinking establishment has a licence to sell alcohol until, say, 4 AM, but has planning condition to close at, say, midnight. In such a case, the establishment would be required to close at midnight, as the more restrictive condition takes precedence regardless of whether it is licensing or planning. In regard to this application, the premises are licensed to sell alcohol are in a condition a considerable distance from any public CCTV, but with residential properties being built near to it, and with easy access to a fast vehicle route outwards, avoiding further cameras. Therefore, in order to deter crime and disorder and to ensure the safety of nearby residents, OTC asks that a condition relating to adequate external CCTV, including recording, at these premises remains a formal condition of any planning approval. So that was quite lengthy, but that was what I thought. You may disagree completely, of course, and say they don't need cameras, but that was how I saw it.
I'm a great believer in cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. Vince?
Yeah. I can't, that's a proposal, I definitely second it.
So are we agreed that then perhaps we refuse this application because of the following, with the following statement?
Is it objecting to the variations to the conditions
Yes.
rather than
Yes.
refusing the application? So I wasn't sure if anyone else had anything else, but that was my proposal.
So how would
I was going to say,
how would you like this to be worded then?
so these words can add on, what was it you just said, Alan, about not being refused, but
We object to the
object,
variation.
object.
To the variation in the condition of the application.
So that's purely based on condition 10.
Variation to condition 10.
Condition 10, okay. And then I'll add the
give
notes,
those
yeah,
reasons.
for the reasons. Okay, so sorry, Vince was seconding that,
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favour of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, Alan. Item 2, extension and alterations to Finch Avenue. I got round there yesterday because I went on to Google Earth. If I pass this photo around, you'll see we're talking about number 9. That's number 9 where the application's about. And you can see, if you look back there, you can see their garage and you can read the comment made by number 10 next door, which I think is quite important.
Is it possible for the public to know the comment, as there's supposed to be no hidden documents under the Transparency Act 2011? Please.
So can we look at the letter from number 10?
If the chairman agrees, that I'd like to know the public to see this.
Yes.
Can we see it? Thank you.
Right, this is the comment from number 10.
That's the other one on there. Yeah, number 10.
Number 10, yeah. I mean, this gentleman mentions the drop curb, and I did look along that road. It's quite a short cul-de-sac actually, and they're drop curbs only really in front of the garages.
Which is normal.
Yes. Right, any comments, gentlemen?
I think I need to see the plans the age,
Yeah.
when everyone's finished.
Yeah.
See the ground floor, is that top floor?
That's the existing, isn't it?
Just all the bottom, maybe. This is the proposed.
Chairman, if I may, I do have serious concerns about this development butting up, as it does, from my understanding, exactly onto the boundary line again of the adjacent property. It's something I know this council's talked about before, of not having access to the rear garden. I would very much prefer when these things are drawn up, if they actually show the impact on the neighbour's property by showing the two properties together.
Yeah.
But my take on it is that it's
They've
It's
avoided,
literally taking up the border.
yeah, they've avoided doing that, it does take up the whole wood.
Could you just go down to the, that one? Oh, I see. And that is indicated the 3 car parking slots as well there.
Having looked at it myself, it appears there to be a terrace, but actually it isn't. They're semi-detached.
They are.
And where they join together, those are the garages, not households, not homes. They're attempting to virtually form.
The garage with this one is not joined together at the front, because
No.
you've got that.
Yes.
My own thoughts on it really are that it seems to be squashed in, go to the boundary, and take note of what the gentleman at number 10 has said, but I think it's what we think as well. Personally, I think that it's not appropriate to. So if we are minded to refuse, then we've got to give a reason why.
Can we look at the application in parts, please? The first part was the provision of dropping the curb.
Yeah.
Are we going to look at it as a whole, or are we going to look at it bit by bit?
We can make comments. I think the drop curb is something that's not the most important.
No, absolutely no. But I didn't know whether we were going to actually look at each bit individually,
I think
or
the
comment on the whole plan.
I think the whole plan,
Okay.
because I think the important thing really is that it's squashed and it's tied up against the boundaries. And I did look beyond all the properties in this short cul-de-sac. I did drive down carefully and look behind, and there's no buildings on any of them that are up against the boundary. This would set a precedent.
My own personal view is access to the rear of any property is a bonus in the event of having to get on equip, and that would definitely cause a problem. It's like you said, if there's none of down there, you set a precedent, and like Alan's already said, that it's up to the boundary line.
It is.
And higher than the adjacent building.
Yes. Yes. So are we minded then to refuse? On what grounds?
But it's too cramped into the current plot.
Might we say, Chairman, excessive development on the site, we need to over excessive impact on the neighbour, and the term eludes me.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
not quality of life.
Oh, I know what you mean. They'll use their amenities, no, not the word.
Residential amenity of the neighbour. Thank you.
What a lovely phrase.
Right. Proposer, seconder,
I'll propose.
seconder, all in favour of refusal? Thank you. Non-permanent apex lean-to, it's got the widths there, height to the side of the house. Now look at the plans.
Well, that's the plot.
It's an unusual shape plot. What are your thoughts on the materials being used?
I think the whole thing is not very tasteful, and it's on the side that looks over the road.
Yes, it is.
Have you been down here?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
Chairman, if I may, if that were an open plot immediately facing a number of other residences, I'm sure I would be asking to vary materials, but the actual particular location of that plot causes me no concerns.
Well, you know.
Being positioned as it is on that end.
Right.
Isn't there a hedge round it?
There's a mixture of fencing and walling.
Right.
So I guess it goes wall and fencing, filled with walls and fencing.
So it's hidden.
Well, it isn't clear from the plan as I can see whether that's going to the boundary or whether it's hidden behind there. Perhaps we could look,
Well, it couldn't, when you looked at that, it looked as if it was going up to the front boundary.
Just there.
it is behind the existing walling and fencing.
Yeah. In other words, hidden from the road. Yeah, should we? Are we all happy with that statement?
No.
But I think that, I was a bit concerned about the actual materials being used, as well as it being on the border,
So no objection as long as it's hidden.
behind
Yeah.
it.
Hidden.
I think remains behind,
Sorry.
that sounds...
Yeah.
Sorry?
Remains behind
Remains
the-
behind.
Yeah.
Fence or wall?
So can I have a proposal, please? Seconder, all in favour? Good.
Together.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's because one's listed, folks, just in case. So it's the same application. Just shows that.
Just to let you know, that big gap in the middle is the access hatchway for the cars to get through.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so beyond that, with the direction that is looking is Tesco's. So cars come up and they come through that hole, and this area here is a car park for about 8 cars. And what the gentleman has done, in fact, he's taken, there was a whole load of old wooden sheds in the car park, and he's taken them all down. And that wall was falling down, and he's rebuilt it.
Right.
And in fact, he made quite a good job of it.
Right.
and it's virtually finished anyway. And the Heritage Man's been round there to see them.
I was quite happy to go ahead and approve this.
Chairman, I was concerned as to the use to which that was going to be put. I wasn't totally overwhelmed with the quality of the plans that were given us. I'm quite happy.
Unfortunately, that is so often the case.
Certainly on one of the slides it says questionable on their own plans. They've actually submitted it with the word questionable on it, upside down, and I can't read what they're questioning in their own plans. So I don't think there's enough information for me to say I'm agreeing with it, but I appreciate that others may wish to.
Any comments, John?
No, I propose approval,
Yes, I would second that.
in retrospect,
Yes.
since he's finished it.
Yes, I would second that. All in favour? Abstain?
Against.
Against. Right.
Right. Number 6, single story extension of attached garage and internal alterations.
Right, so, where's the... where's the plot?
It's behind the property.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Do existing proposed floor plan. What they're proposing, isn't it?
What they're proposing.
Yeah. Does everybody want to look at it? They want to look at all the
Yes, please.
yeah, all, okay, yeah, that's good. So that's the,
Existing.
yeah,
Actually, this is done quite well, I noticed. Yeah.
that was the east, this is the north.
If only really got applications were like this.
Yeah.
And it immediately you see.
South. This is the west. That's the road for Crownhill.
I mean, to me, it looks straightforward. Yeah.
I propose approval.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Seconded?
Yeah.
Alan, all in favour? Thank you. It makes so much difference when the plans are like that, doesn't it? Right, 7, single story side extension.
This is the location, yeah? Yeah. Do you want to look at the existing?
I don't think that, looking at that, it's not detrimental to the street scene at all, is it?
No.
And there seems to be plenty of room.
Fine.
Have a look at the overall plan again, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Which one?
The actual
You mean the location plan?
Yes, please. That's Thank you, Bruno.
Yes. And there are no windows in there?
No.
You're not overlooking, is there?
No, that's right. Happy, Vince?
Yeah.
Right, we've had a proposal second, are we in favour?
Who seconded it?
Thank you. Joyce, we're over to you really, for, as our tree warden. So that's number 7, fell one Scots pine tree. We'll be guided by your comments.
This is a thank you, Chairman. This is protracted over a number of, well, 18 months, I suppose. The tree surgeon actually came and took down a tree without actually asking whether it had got a TPO on it or not, which left a big gap. So this time he's learned his lesson and he's gone for planning permission. The tree surgeon's got for planning permission. It's a big hole at the moment. If you look, the road amenity view, the scene, there is a big hole, and the planning officer wasn't very pleased. But I've just underlined, sorry Alison, because it happens to be your piece of paper. He says, the planning officer says, to finish the work off, because it's such a mess, to fell the tree, please see attached forms and guidance without prejudice on any formal decision. It's likely that a replacement tree will be required. So the planning officer has suggested that the Scotch pine comes down, although it is not a danger to the public, and a replacement tree is just to tidy it all up, and a replacement tree of a suitable nature, and I would recommend tree.
Providing he...
It does a replacement tree.
Yes.
Quite simple, really.
Okay.
Propose approval then?
Seconded.
All in favour? We make this with the condition that...
A replacement tree.
Replacement
Yeah.
tree.
Of suitable
Placed.
size and
Yeah.
quality and everything else.
Thank you. Number 9 has been withdrawn. The reason is that...
54, Springfield. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, right. I'm asking for this to be withdrawn and decided by the tree warden and the
delegated powers.
a delegated power, because it's a very small bungalow. It's 2 very large trees, but the trees were there before the bungalow. Did you see what I mean? They haven't they've put a planning application in, but they haven't had any tree surgeon have a look at it. They're just assuming it's diseased. I couldn't find any disease. It needs looking at because it's such a small bungalow, such a large tree, or large trees, that I think somebody ought to be looking at it from county council level. So I'm asking for a deferment on that one.
Chairman, before looking into that, could we actually see where it is? Do we have the plan there?
It is the plot, whoops, very often gets flooded.
Trees, that's it, that's the end.
Right?
Yeah, very sparse.
It is, they are very tall trees.
You've got a photo off.
No, well I have, but you can't, I'm not going to print off photographs
No.
at my expense. Alan, you can criticise this one as well if you want to. But it is a very small, that small bungalow, you see, look at the large trees. Now they have said things like, cart it out in the garden, we've got gnats everywhere, I get bitten, I can't put the washing out. That is no excuse for taking down a tree. So I would prefer it to be guided by Rutland County Council.
They're pretty huge, aren't they?
They are huge, and that's okay, but that plot is just on an incline, it's all flooded, and it has had a lot of trees. There were more trees than that, and it's over the years. The last one was, I can't get the caravan in, so a tree came down. You see what I mean?
About 80 foot high, isn't it?
It's a big tree, so really and truly I'm asking for either delegated powers to get some information. We are out on a limb at the moment, because it is Mr. Gear that's dealing with everything, because the other gentleman's on paternity leave.
Jen, do we know when the consultation ends? Is that on?
It'll be 21 days, so...
Sorry, say again?
21 days from the date on the planning application.
which one is it? 22nd of January, so 3 weeks.
3 weeks after that.
Yeah, 21 days. So what's that, 31 in January, yeah, it's about now, so it's 31 in January. So, yeah, about now. But I can ask for an extension.
I think in asking for an extension, you need to explain the reasons why.
It's today, isn't it?
It's 10.
Either we go for an extension, or we say we leave it to RCC to do it completely.
What do you want to do?
By Alan, isn't it?
It is, Chairman, I would very much prefer that we ask for an extension, if that were possible, rather than delegated powers. It isn't always possible, I know.
Well, I'm quite happy to go along with that.
Go for an extension
Go for an extension and
and try and get it sorted.
yeah. Will you do that, Joyce?
No, I can ask them.
You're going to do
Or
the
you
phone
can
call
speak to
initially.
them.
No.
And you'll keep us informed. Right. Thank you. Number 10, Pollard 1, poplar tree, it's 20 feet high. And pre-pollard 2, poplar trees to previous point. Have you had the opportunity to look at this, Joyce?
Yes. It's what it says. It has been they've been pollarded and chopped about so often. These trees, 1, 2, and 3, that all they're doing is putting it back again. The unfortunate part about this estate is when it was built, all the trees were TPO'd as a group. So we're getting, I was going to call it insignificant trees, but they have to come back to us all the time.
Yeah.
And really and truly, I don't think that it's at the back of the houses. And I don't think there'll be any loss of amenity value. I'd approve that one.
Fine. I'll propose approval then.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favour? Thank you. And finally, to fell 3 fir trees in 24 Stafford Road.
Chairman, this is, right opposite the rear entrance to Catton's Arboretum. You can actually see it from the road. So I just parked the car there and I've taken some shots. But the thing is, these trees are of no amenity value to the street scene. They're not trees, they're bushes and they're ugly. And I think they were planted probably at the same time as the house, when they would be about that high. And now they're big. Just really, it could be improved by, how many? 3 or 4? Felling them. Anybody wants to see the photograph, you're very welcome. I've taken them. I've just shown them to Vince, but really, it would be nice if it was more landscaped instead of just these 3 big, ugly, the bushes, actually. They're not
Joyce,
even nice.
I think we can take Joyce's, our tree warden's advice on this one.
Yes, I will take those out. Thank you.
All in favour? Thank you, that was the last one, so thank you very much, thank you Joyce. We end the meeting at 2:42.